Okay guys, well this turntable, as you know, has got quite a few boards in it. There is another 3 boards that actually plug into this board. And so this is more or less our, well, motherboard, if you want to look at it like that, or the center interconnect board. Okay, so just looking at it, we're going to check it over and see if there's anything wrong with it or that looks sus. Everything looks good on this side, but on this side, connectors are okay there, those ones. We will probably go through and redo these. I have had these dry joints. Very, very difficult to see a dry joint on these. So I have had that happen. We've had dry joints along both of these connectors. These ones aren't too bad, the ones at the end. So we'll clean this up because it's dirty. And up here we've got 3 resistors. Now this is an add-on. They've been put on after the fact, but they use that horrible glue that conducts after a while. And of course we've got to get rid of that and put new resistors on there. So that's sort of what's got to be done with just the interconnect board. Okay, so if you want to know numbers, there's the numbers now, and you probably can't, you can't see that number really. And of course everything's reflective in here. I've got the door open, so want some sunshine in here. These are all numbered. We'll have a look on the diagram very shortly. Okay, so that's our interconnect board. We'll have a look at what those resistors are on the circuit. There's 2 capacitors there, and there's one lonely little electro there. Now, that's C1. He's a very standard little 10 mic at 50 volts. Okay, he will be replaced for certain. I don't leave any electros in these turntables. Okay, so let's now have a look at the circuit and see what these resistors are, and just get an overall of this board to start with. Welcome to part 2 of our Technics series, the Technics SP10. Now, I'm not a guru on these turntables by any means. I have fixed a lot of them. I have never done a book alignment or book setup on them. We're going to all do it together, so bear with me through that. I'm not a guru on them. So it'll be step by step and just checking things to make sure things are working. We'll check each board. And as you know, we're starting with this board, the interconnect board. There's 3 resistors here that have got to go. And, well, a little capacitor here. The 0.1s, the 104s, I think we'll leave them there. I will check them for leakage anyway. I know they're little poly caps, but still going to check them. Once we've done that, and we know that board's right, we've cleaned the connectors, everything else, we then get our base, and this is the actual turntable base. And I've just got to be careful with this one. And we then mount, it's those 4 I think, yeah. We mount in this board, and then it'll be the next series, the next part to do the next board and the next exercise with this. Just piece by piece. This is a bit of a longer series. It'll probably be 5 or 6 parts to it, but just one section at a time. That way videos are shorter and you get more of an idea of what's really inside these SP10s. Okay, so let's have a look at the circuit diagram. I'll just bring it up there now. And as you can see, there's 3 resistors circled down the bottom there. Now, those resistors actually weren't on the first of the series of these. I think it was the Mark 1s. I'm not 100% certain on that. It might have been just an earlier production. These are actually the dropping resistors for the LEDs on your speed. Okay, 33, 45, 78. They're just the drop resistors for the LEDs, and they're 150 ohm. Okay, so we're going to replace those 3. Now, just over a little bit, you will see the electrolytic capacitor there that I've circled, and the other 2 that will be changing. Now, that's all there is on this board. It's just an interconnect board between the others. Okay, so this is what we're starting with, and I hope you enjoy what I'm doing, just following along. It's just a sideline video on these things. But anyway, we'll take a closer look at these resistors. We'll take the caps out, check them, put the resistors in, mount the board, and that will be the end of part 1. Okay, let's have a closer look at this. Now, as you can see, there's our resistors. Now, they don't look real good. Resistors are probably fine, but it's the old glue, and we know this old, horrible stuff they used to use in the early days, and after a while it turns brown and then absorbs moisture and actually becomes conductive. So we've got to get rid of all that, take the resistors off and rejoin them. We'll do that now, and then we'll come over and do these fellas. Okay, let's just lift these up if I can, and then, hang on, my tip's a little bit dirty there. Once we lift these up, we'll come along with the solder. We can just clean the board. There we go. As I said, we will replace these resistors. I'm not leaving these. And the glue is does look like it has become conductive. Doesn't look real good. Okay, so on these fellas, we've got E5, E6, and E7. Okay, we'll measure the resistors and just make sure of what they are. But as you can see, the glue certainly makes a mess of things. And does seem to have almost become corrosive underneath there. Okay, and no, I don't wear gloves when I'm doing this. So I've been chipped a few times about wearing gloves. Gloves are restrictive as far as I'm concerned in some of the stuff I do. Now, as you can see, these have been cut. You can see where the manufacturer probably has cut these. I don't know why this is an add-on, because the LEDs, well, they would have required a dropping resistor right from the word go, you would think. Okay. Now, I've got fairly small resistors. I don't know whether we'll go up here. Yes, we have to. Actually, that's corroded through there, I think. Yeah, we'll go back onto the same spots here, because I don't trust, if I just go from there to there, I don't trust this track here. So, but we will just scrape away a little bit there, so I can just solder the end of the resistor on there. Okay, E6 is the same. E7 is the same. Okay. That's fairly well cleaned up. Now I'll get some isopropyl on them and clean them up properly. Okay. Okay, now going to put some solder on those pads. So I'll be using some flux. This is fairly old copper, so yeah, it's not going to adhere extremely well, so we'll just put a little bit of flux on there. Okay. That should be good enough. Now I'll grab some resistors, but first of all, these are 150 ohm. Let's measure these and see what they are. So, clip him on there. What's he measure? Okay, we're right, 150 ohm. Okay, so, but irrespective, I'm not using that resistor again. He's been extremely hot and actually burnt off the paint. So, yeah, not going to use that. This one. And 150 ohm. Close enough. And now this one. .149.8.1, yeah, 150 ohm. So the resistors are okay, but I'm going to put in, going to look for a little bit higher wattage ones. I'd say these are 1/8 watt. I will be putting in at least 1/2 watt resistors in that, considering the damage that has been done to these. I don't want that happening ever again. Okay, these are 1/2 watt resistors, so that's what I'll be putting in. A little bit of difference in size, not a lot, but yeah, enough to probably save them next time from cooking, trying to run two little LEDs. Now I'm going to just cut one end and then bring the other end around. This one here, I'll have to get right back. Yeah, okay. I'm talking to myself. So if I bend him like that, give myself that much room. Sit him up there. Actually go a little bit more further down. Okay, that's good. Tin him up. Now, there's a lot of you guys know what I'm doing here, but there's probably an awful lot that don't. This is for them. Okay. We'll just put him on a bit of an angle there. Okay, I'll do the other two and we'll come back. Okay guys, they're done. Okay, everything fits in. Now we've got lots of flux laying around. When I'm finished this board, I'll go over it with isopropyl and clean the whole thing off. So what I've also want to do is, now that I've finished this section, is go through these and just redo every connection. And it's the same with all the connections on here. It takes a little bit of time, but you're assured there's not going to be any dry joints that you actually can't see or anything like that. And when I'm finished that, we'll do the caps. I'll do that now and come back. Okay, there we go. All the joints on these fellas, which are these little connectors here, are done on this side, and every connector on this side has been reflowed. So now it's up to the capacitor here. This little fella, we'll start with him. Now he's those two there. So I'll probably use the solder sucker on this to, I don't know, no, that's not double-sided anyway, but we will use the solder sucker. Now the positive or the negative is marked on this one. So negative towards this connector here. And it's a 10 microfarad 50 volt. So let's get him out. And I did have a subscriber mention my soldering iron temperature when I'm desoldering. So he said I should be using at least 400 degrees. And well, there's the unit. That's what I run on when I'm desoldering. Okay, 480. Otherwise, yeah, we need the solder to melt fairly quickly and not take its time. So yeah, for the fellas out there that if you can't see the iron, that's what I'm running at. Well, it's not double-sided, but it's actually soldered into a couple of little vias on the board. And if you don't know what a via is, it's a feed through. It goes from one side of the board to the other. So, yeah. and they're called vias, V-I-A, because I guess they go via one side of the board to the other. Okay, now this one has, I'm just going to put a little bit of solder on here. That hole is actually closed up again. Just going to try and a little bit of fresh solder and desolder and try and get the hole to appear again. Okay, we'll get another cap, put him in there. 10 mic, 50 volt. Then we'll measure him. Now guys, just a little bit of isopropyl as I go along here, section by section. I just wanted to clean underneath that cap before we solder him in. Okay, I'm putting him in on his side because the original one was basically on his side, and it just makes a lower profile when the board goes in. There we go. Done. Now, this fella, let's measure him. Let's see what he was. I always like measuring caps, and then because if there's one really bad, well, he's noted down as very bad, and it helps in the future. Okay, 10.37 microfarad, pretty close, 2.3% loss, and ESR 1.4, so about normal for that. Actually, pretty close to being normal. So no worries with that one. But irrespective, this turntable has to be right when I'm finished this. Now, each one of these I'll be doing, I will be putting them up for sale. So I have 6 or 8 here. So as time goes along, these will eventually show their head somewhere for sale, or via an email, or yeah, anything like that. Okay. So we'll clean the rest of this rubbish off later. Now these fellas, I don't know whether to take these out or not. They have never ever been known to give trouble. They are suppressor caps on the 5 volt rail. So they actually go up, and where's the 5 volts? It's actually up here, and it also runs down in along here somewhere. It's over here. It's on one of these pins. So they're just little suppressor caps. So I think I'm going to leave those. They've never ever give trouble, these fellas. So yeah, I think we'll move on and get the rest of the board cleaned up, and then, well, we'll mount this board. We've got to clean the contacts, but all this will be done of cleaning these contacts when we get the board to plug into it. That way we can push it around, clean it, and clean the whole thing together. All right, so I'll do a bit of cleaning up now. We'll grab the base and put it in. Right here, guys. Well, it's time to put the board in. Now, this is the front of the turntable. It's upside down, but this is the front edge. Now, this board mounts between these 4 posts here, and of course the other posts are for other boards, as we fit them in. All this has been pretty well cleaned up. I might give it a brush down now before I fit this board, but this is where we're up to now. I'll just go and just brush this off a little bit, just to make sure she's nice and clean. And this unit actually has been, this was in pretty rough shape, so the turntable's been powder coated. So it's not brushed aluminium, but it's aluminium powder coating. And yeah, it came out really, really well. So yeah, unfortunately, the brushed aluminium had corroded and it didn't look real nice. So that's why it was upgraded to the powder coating. Okay, well, we've given him a good clean up. Now, this one. Now, this up here is actually the socket for your motor and drive assembly. That is no worries to fit once this is on here. So we fit this way up. And of course we can always plug something in up the end here. That's not a problem. Everything else plugs in here, 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 and of course at the sides. Screws, don't lose these. Little black fellas, little, I think they're M3s, and a nylon washer. Please remember the nylon washer. It's nothing... if I can get it on there, it's nothing to do with insulation or anything like that. It's to just protect the board a little bit. And well, it's not back to original unless it has them. Just remember that if you're doing one of these. I didn't want to powder coat this, but honestly it was worth nothing unless I did that. But it does look really, really nice. So, yeah. Okay. Just nip him up a little bit there. Now I have put it under the Maggie lamp, checked all the connections with everything on this. Everything is, well, it all appears spot on. The board is nice and clean. The resistors, they're fine. I've checked it all under the lamp, so there shouldn't be anything wrong. We've also checked out the polarity of our little cap, negative to negative. Okay, make sure you do that. Just double check it. Righto guys, well, there's the end of the first part of this. Not much done, but there it is. That's how it mounts in. That's about that board. The next one, well, don't know what we're doing next. We'll probably do the board that actually attaches to the back here. I don't know. I'll run you through that on the next video. Okay, so we'll put it into this video. Nice quick one. So far, so good. Okay then, please remember to subscribe if you want to follow me with this, and hit the bell, and give us a like if you like this series of the mighty Technics SP10 Mark II turntables. Okay, catch us later guys. Bye.